Hey everybody, it's Larissa from Keeping Made Simple, and this is just a quick video. I wanted to talk about something that more so actually as a graphic designer, I get questions about that I think might be able to help you guys with, since it's a little bit more specific to my bee business, and that's how I've used social media to help my honey company. So I started out actually doing the social media for the honey company I used to work for, Big Island Bees, and they don't have a big following. They have like I think 8,000 Instagram followers. The last time I was on their channel, and then I stopped using it. I personally have like 800 and some Instagram followers. So I wanted to tell you guys, I think that there's this idea that you're supposed to be on social media all the time and spend a lot of time on it, and it's going to help get you sales. And I think there's this disconnect as to exactly, hey there, where you actually make money from social media and why people give up on it. So what I did was on Instagram, I used Instagram the same way I used it for Big Island Bees, which is there's like two real good uses that I found for it. One is connecting with local businesses. There are a lot of businesses on Instagram, and I use the hashtag made in Hawaii, handmade in Hawaii, buy local Hawaii. Sometimes I go with Big Island and I get a little bit more specific. And then I also make sure that I have the location when I'm posting a photo of either Hawaii or the specific city that I'm in. And what that does is that got me a bunch of wholesale clients, and not like the big clients like the grocery stores and stuff, but just like, somebody that has, there's one woman that makes jams, and she contacted me. She wanted to buy candles and honey from me, and she does all the farmers markets and she does the festivals. And I personally hate the farmers markets and festivals. Well, I guess I shouldn't say I hate them. I don't want to sit there. I don't, okay, yeah, I hate them. And so it was a great way that this woman she makes a lot of gift baskets. And so she contacted me. She bought my stuff wholesale. Another actual bee business, actually, they sell honey, but they don't do a lot of candles. They contacted me. They started buying my candles wholesale, and they sell at a lot of the farmers markets. And so it was a really great way for me to not have to sell directly at farmers markets, but get all of those little wholesale clients. And a couple of bakeries also contacted me. And then one of those Hawaii services that has like a monthly box service that they sell to. No, don't like the festivals. Personally, I just don't want to answer all of those questions about bees and where honey comes from. I worked for like 3 or 4 years doing 2 tours a day, working all day, like 4 days a week at that farm, answering questions about bees and honey. And I just can't do that anymore. It's like I'm done. I can't. If I have to explain where honey comes from one more time, I'm going to, like, smoke's going to come out of my ears, I think. So for me personally, like, I just don't want to do those markets. Luckily here in Hawaii, though, we have different laws, I believe, than some of the other places, whereas you can sell wholesale without needing the food safety or the certified kitchen, whereas some other places you can't do that. So that is a little bit of an unfortunate part to some states. But if you can get a certified kitchen, someone with a certified kitchen, there's a community certified kitchen that you have access to. But I found that Instagram is a great way to network with businesses. I've gotten some, customers, I'm sure, through Instagram, but I've had sales where I have a specific coupon on my Instagram page. So anyone that uses that coupon had to have come from Instagram, and very few of those come from Instagram. It's really a great way to get to connect with other businesses. And the other thing it does, which more so was helpful for Big Island Bees when I ran their page than mine, but I've slowly started to get some of this too, is that people will tag you in a photo of them using your product, which is great. A lot of these photos aren't great photos, but you can just, like, Instagram makes it really easy for you to like resend it. So if someone does a story with their product, with your product in their story, you can like add it to your story. And there's really nothing better than a photo that someone else took of them using your honey and like saying how much they love it. And someone seeing that real photo as opposed to that perfectly curated photo that you maybe had a professional photographer take. So that's how Instagram's helped me. I don't know almost anything about TikTok. I created an account and I put up like 3 videos, and that was as far as I got. I have been told numerous times that TikTok is great if you want to do a Kickstarter campaign. For some reason, a lot of places use that as a way to spread the word about your Kickstarter campaign. I don't know if just younger generations are more into Kickstarter and supporting those things than other age groups, because that's kind of how some of these social media sites work, is like according to age group. The older age group is in Facebook. I'd say like my age group, which is like 25 to 45 maybe, is I'm the older age range of that age group, is more of the Instagram, and then TikTok is like the teenagers, early 20s maybe. And so Facebook, is great for, well, for one, if you don't have a website, you can make a Facebook page. And so if someone's trying to find you online, at least that gives them a contact, number, that gives them a place that they can send you a direct message. And it gives them your email if you want to put your email on there. And what it does for me is that I tell my friends about my honey business, and every so often, if I just post on my personal Facebook page that says like really excited about this new product, or my bees are doing really well, and maybe it's not like a direct like, hey, buy my stuff kind of thing, but every once in a while I talk about what's going on with the bees, then you have the link to your Facebook bee page on there, and it gives them a way to be able to support your business, so that they can then see where your website is, or wherever you're selling your stuff. The other thing it did for me was how I sold my in-person beekeeping classes. So I made an in-person beekeeping class years ago. Someone at our bee association was really pushing for it. And I said, okay. And there was like 7 people that said they would take the class. But when I put the class up for purchase, like 2 people signed up. And all of those other people magically, were busy or something, weren't ready for the class. So I put up flyers, and that, did nothing. So what I did was I made an ad on Facebook. And Facebook advertising is great for this use. You can advertise to people according to where they live. So I put in anyone that lives in, like a 30-mile radius from Kona, Hawaii. And the class sold out by the end of the week. And then the next class, I had a waiting list. And then the waiting list is what sold out my next class. And so if you're selling nukes, or if you're doing in-person classes, or anything that's local, Facebook, you have your Facebook page, and then you do an ad, and the ads are really cheap, and you just advertise to people in a certain radius, and people either tell Facebook where they live, or they check in a lot, and so that lets Facebook know where you live. In case you're curious how Facebook knows where you live, they also probably know your gender and your age and whether you're a parent. I allowed, I think I capped it at 12 people for my beekeeping class. And maybe my first one, I kept it at 8, but then I found that not everybody continues. It was like 6 classes, and so not everyone continued with the class. And then I've had weekend classes that I kept at 8, and so that we can get a lot done. And then I had in class, like the first one that was just about honeybees and the basics of beekeeping without going out in the bee yard. I think I kept that at like 20 something. And that was just in a classroom. An art center had a classroom, and there was like a projector and stuff. So Facebook, what I do is I do really the least amount of work possible because I'm not that interested in getting a big social media following at the moment. I have the podcast and the YouTube videos to talk to beekeepers. But when I was looking to sell honey, I was more so interested in social media, but still not much. And it's okay to not post a lot to social media. It's okay to not have thousands of followers. With only about 500, I still got those 3 wholesale clients. I got some of those bakeries to contact me about buying honeycomb, and there was that gift service. I mean, that was $1,000 purchase for just one purchase for some candles that they wanted. And some Hawaii wedding planners have also contacted me, finding me through Instagram. So I think it's just good to know like what the purpose is to your social media, and then maybe you won't feel like you're wasting time on it. Facebook, you can schedule things in advance. So I'll schedule like 2 things a week. Like I'll take one day a month and schedule like 2 things a week, and you can have it scheduled. Now that Instagram and Facebook are owned by the same people, you can have it just sent to both channels. Now, this isn't the way to get a big following. If you want like a big following on Instagram, I highly recommend Neil Patel's website. He has an SEO Unlocked course that I've done, and is a really great way to get your website to rank higher when people are Googling your stuff or just Googling search keywords that you want to rank for. He has an Instagram class that's really helpful too. So if you want to get to, those like 50,000 Instagram followers, that's a class to take, and it's free. He has a YouTube page and a website. But really, personally, I found that you don't need a ton of followers to make it worth your while. You just need to know like what the point is to doing it and not be all over the place. So Instagram, it really helped to have that made in Hawaii hashtag at the end of my post. Handmade in Hawaii, the things that I thought would get people to care. Hawaiian honey, and I purposely was trying to get the attention of wedding planners, and so those hashtags is what helped get the attention of some of those wedding planners and other people in Hawaii. And that's really all I use Instagram for. I don't need to be on there all the time and have 20,000 followers in order to get wholesale clients through Instagram. It's just a new way for people to find stuff. And that's really all I see social media as, is just like another online registry that people can use to find things. Instagram is definitely more business related. Facebook, I found, is just a good way to keep in touch with the people you already know and a good way to advertise. And then, if you go to farmers markets and you don't have a website or you don't have a newsletter, I see Instagram as almost like a way that you can, it's almost like instead of an email newsletter, you can set up an Instagram page. And I see a Facebook as, a substitution for a website if you don't want to get that, far into your online presence just yet. Because if you are at farmers markets and festivals and people like your stuff, then if you can promote your Instagram page, it's just a new way to tell people what market you're going to be at. If you have new products, offer sales and stuff. And it's just a way to keep in touch with these people so that they don't fall off the face of the earth in their brain, and they never really think about your products ever again. So that's how I use social media, and I just wanted to put that out there because I think there's like this idea that this is like some kind of rat race and we're supposed to be working tirelessly to have 1 million followers in every single thing that exists, and I haven't really found that to be the case. With Big Island Bees, I mean, they are a pretty big honey company, and they have like maybe 8,000 or so Instagram followers, and it's been really helpful when I ran that page for them to just get tons of feedback from customers about what they liked about the product, recipes they put the product in, and then being able to share that with people. They became really popular posts, and it's actually a really easy way to then repost, is to just take things that photos people took of your product and then be able to put it on your Instagram page. It's really effective and takes very little time. So I'm going to put in the description for this video these links to Neil Patel's SEO course, which is free. If you want to take it, I strongly recommend it. And just a heads up, if you do want to get a lot of followers on Instagram, not that I have a lot of followers in Instagram or found that I needed them, but what I have found is that once you get started, you really need to keep up with it, which is why I don't do it. So the way Instagram works is you kind of like need to build momentum, and you'll start to see that you'll get a new follower, and then 2, and then 5, and then it starts to build and build and build. And then as soon as you get busy and you forget about it and you don't do anything for a week or 2, then it just like stops. And then it's going to be even harder to start it back up the next time around. So if you want to get your following really big and to make it really popular, just keep that in mind and wait until you're ready to like devote that much time, or until you have the time to schedule out a whole bunch of posts in advance, so that when you are busy, you know, the posts are still coming out and being scheduled by software. And so I plan my posts in advance. I use Facebook. I used to use Later, which is another program you can schedule out in Instagram or Facebook. Make sure you use hashtags to make it easy for myself. I have a list of hashtags on my phone in the notes of my iPhone, so that I just copy and paste like, 10 or 15 hashtags all at once. Go live or whatever is new. So right now Reels is new on Instagram. You got to use that. Use the new stuff that people aren't using, because Instagram and Facebook want to push all the new stuff that no one else is using. So they'll push, there's a lot fewer things for them to choose from, and so they'll push those things. Stories are some things that are really popular on Instagram. And Planoly, Planoly, is an app I used to use when I did the social media for a client of mine. And that's the way that you can make your Instagram feed look nice. So instead of just posting whatever comes to mind, which is, what you do for your stories, but if you want to post to like your feed and those photos that people are seeing, pretty much when someone sees your profile and they're looking to see if they want to follow you, they look at the first, 12 or so photos, and you want them to look good. So you can use the app Planoly, and what that does is it allows you to upload photos and move them around in the grid, so that you see what looks good in the grid. You'll see that, you have a really nice photo of flowers and bees, and then you put in that one really busy photo of a beekeeper with the hives, and there's a lot going on. You want to you'll start to see how you can put that in between photos of a sky and a big photo of a flower, and you don't want 2 really busy photos next to each other. Or you might realize that you have 2 photos that have like this super bright red color, and you probably don't want a lot of red in your honey feed. You want it to be shades of yellow, golden yellow, and oranges, not green or bright red or something. So that app really helps to see what things look like, and it'll really help people to see that you have a nice feed, and that'll be something that they want to follow. You don't have to have 500 photos in this feed. You could have a feed of just like 30 photos, but if they're the really nice photos, I actually go through, and the posts that don't do very well and don't work well in the feed, I archive and I get rid of, and so that I just like clean up the feed if I ever start to see that it's looking a little sloppy. And let's see, if you want to see what mine looks like, mine's looking a little sloppy recently, but I have my Instagram is Beekeeping Made Simple, obviously. My honey is Be Happy Hawaii. Sorry, it's the answering machine going off. I have Be Happy Hawaii with 2 E's and B. That's my honey page. And then the page I used to run for the farm I used to work for is called Big Island Bees. I haven't done that in a while, maybe almost a year, but I don't think they're updating it very often. So if you scroll down, for a little bit, you'll start to see that the photos look a little bit different. And that's when I was running the feed. Yeah, everyone has a little bit of a different style and likes different filters. So you'll start to see a different style of filter. So hope that helps. Hope that helps you not stress out about social media, because it's not worth it. Thanks for watching. Bye.